Hi, I'm Mike Janisi Catalina, and I'm from FEU, taking up BA Political Science. So, ginagawa ko tong video to become an informative video. More specifically, an information about how I felt during this pandemic. So, to make sure na raw yung emotions ko and legit yung mga pinagsasabi ko, this video will not be edited. No cuts, no editing, no special effects or anything. Just me and you, me mostly speaking. So to give context sa claims ko, let's talk about COVID-19 first. So what is COVID-19? So COVID-19 is a virus that started in China from what I've heard came from a bat. So yung mga tao sa China, more specifically in Wuhan, China, they ate a bat containing this virus. So you might be weirded out na, why do people eat a bat? So it's part of their culture to eat the bat. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the virus. So the virus spread in China, right? In Wuhan, China. And because of the poor healthcare system in China, it spread around the world, the globe. And it eventually reached our country, and now we are in lockdown. The whole world is in lockdown dahil sa isang taong kumain ng paniki. And don't blame the person that ate the bat. In this video, we're gonna blame the government. Because if there's one thing I've realized in this pandemic, is that the government, more specifically in our country, is very incompetent. You might ask, why? Why did you say that the government is incompetent? Well, for starters, they are bombarding us with false hopes and promises. They're giving ill-conceived solutions to fend off this pandemic. And this leader, the one who is sitting right now in the palace, is weak. Is a very inadequate leader. And he is leading us into our doom. And it's the truth. It's the reality. So you might even ask, how? How did you claim that the government is weak? From what I've heard, or from what you've heard, baka nabasa mo na ginawa naman nila yung best nila. Ginawa naman nila yung makakaya nila to fend off the virus and to flatten the curve, to find cure. Well, to tell you, they did not flatten the curve. The people are not flattening the curve. The government is not helping, is not doing solutions or giving us solutions to flatten the curve. Even before the virus came, devastating into our country, the people pleaded for the government to issue a travel ban. Lalo na yung sa galing sa mainland China, because alam naman natin na yung virus galing sa China. So yung mga tao dito sa Pilipinas, they pleaded for the government to issue a travel ban. But you know what happened? The government did not. Instead, the government insisted that we should not worry over the virus, and you should research this. The president of the country cursed the virus. Yes, yun yung solution niya para sa pag-solve about this virus. Minura niya yung virus. And instead of issuing a travel ban, he said to us na i-welcome natin yung mga tao galing China kahit possible carriers sila ng virus kasi it would be harsh. It would be mean for them. Maybe it's not about racism anymore. Maybe it's about, I don't know, caring for the people in your country. But the government did not. The government didn't care about what will happen to us. Because they are thinking about what will the other countries say to us, because we are not welcoming tourists from other countries, especially from China, because the government is a lapdog from China. Another event that led to this global pandemic, especially how it greatly affected this country, is the mass testing, or what should have been the mass testing. In the events that followed after the virus came into our country and claimed the lives of hundreds, the people pleaded for a mass testing. since there is no vaccine that will totally destroy the virus, the least the government can do is test everyone and help to flatten the curve. So yeah, the people are pleaded again na, sige na, mass testing naman ibigay nyo sa amin. So hindi nyo na nga iniwasan yung pagpasok ng virus sa country natin. Maybe you could just test us and help us flatten the curve. I-isolate natin yung mga masakit. I-isolate natin yung mga possible na may dala na sakit. Pero what did the government do? Mass arrests. Taunts against the government's critics. Death threats. Suppression of our freedom of speech. And wala pa rin yung mass testing. Mas inuna nila yung mga nananakit sa ego nila kaysa sa kailangan pagtuunan ng pansin. This will probably go down as one of the worst events that happened in our country. Instead of addressing the real problem, the government is scapegoating the poor and the impoverished. They became a panopticon that instead of keeping the eye to the virus, they are much more eager to watch those who try to criticize their lack of sense of urgency and their blatant incompetence. So yes, imbes na unahin nila yung virus, pagtuunan nila ng pansin yung virus, bigyan nila ng budget yung para sa pag-annihilate ng virus na to. No. Mas inuna nila yung mga lumalabag sa quarantine, mas inuna nila yung mga nagagalit sa gobyerno dahil galit na yung mga tao sa nangyayari at sa ginagawa ng gobyerno dahil wala silang sense of urgency. Inaaresto nila, pinapatay nila yung mga tao. That's what they're doing to help flatten the curve. Instead of killing the virus, they're killing the people. They're like these panopticons. The building, they're the watchtower. They're the watchtower. And we are in a prison where we are being constantly watched by these people nung wala man lang paki sa amin. Nung walang paki sa atin. And this is really maddening. Alam mo kung bakit? They are doing this instead of, I don't know, giving solutions, helping the World Health Organization to find a cure. No. They're doing this to protect their egos. To protect something that they still want to have after this pandemic. They want to protect their power. Gusto nilang protektahan yung sarili nila. And to do that, isisisi nila sa mahirap. And the elite, the bourgeoisie, will blame the poor kasi sila yung mga nasa labas, sila yung mga walang bahay, sila yung mga walang pera para protektahan yung sarili nila sa COVID-19. That's what the government does the best. They scapegoat the poor. They blame the poor. They blame the Filipinos for not flattening the curve. Lastly, they are much more concerned by the state of our economy rather than the health and the general welfare of the people. They're scared that this virus will cripple the economy and it will take us years to recover from it. What's the sense of a working economy if there is no people around to participate in it? This goes to show that our country is afraid in a paradigm shift. So what is a paradigm shift? Ito yung pagbabago ng idea, pag-accept ng isang idea, pag-accept ng bagong normal. And people are scared of this new normal. Gusto nila bumalik sa dating normal. Gusto nila bumalik sa dating buhay nila na walang virus. And even kahit may virus na, they want to go back to that way. Gusto nilang bumalik sa idea na, ay okay, ito yung pamumuhay ko dati. Ito yung gusto kong buhay. Ito yung gusto kong manatiling buhay ko. So kahit i-risk ko yung buhay ng mga tao, at least nakukuha ko yung gusto ko. And that's really effed up. Kasi hindi nila iniisip yung mga mangyayari na naaapektuhan hindi lang sila, lalong-lalo na yung mahihirap. People are afraid to live in a new normal and instead will risk everything to have live the way they lived before. It is a common fact that this government still prioritizes the wants of the elite. Mas tinutuon ng pansin ng gobyerno yung mga mayayaman. Mas tinutuon nilang pansin kung ano yung sasabihin ng mayayaman. They're being poisoned by this corporate greed, by capitalism itself. Nilalason sila ng idea na kailangan pera yung solusyon sa lahat. Not a cure, not mass testing, not issuing a travel ban, pera. Pera pa rin yung habol nila. Amidst this pandemic, pera pa rin yung nasa isip nila. The bottom line of this is that we should not be afraid to change the system. Because we are the key players in the system. We are the ones who run it. And if we continue to let ourselves be played by a biased and opportunistic governance, in an event that this will happen again in the near future, anong mangyayari sa atin? Anong mangyayari sa mga Filipino if this happens again? Anong mangyayari sa mga Pilipino kung patuloy tayong pasusupil sa pyudal at pasistang gobyernong ito? What will happen to us? What will happen to the generation after us? What will happen to our future? If we continually let the people above, let the people in the palace, let the man who is sitting right now in that chair tell us what to do. You, viewer, I want to ask you these questions, and I want you to reflect on them. Anong gagawin mo? Anong gagawin mo kapag nangyari ulit to? If you are faced in a situation like this again, in the near future, if you're living in a pandemic, if you're living amidst 100 million of Filipinos living in poverty, living in the streets, and there's this virus that can kill people, what will you do? Will you sit blindly in your chair, play your computer games, or read whatever book you're holding, or bask in the glory of sunshine in your balcony, or sip your martinis in a bar? Or will you stand up? Or will you rise in your rank? Will you help the people? Will you help change the system? I want you to reflect on that, viewer. I want you to know that this is what happened in the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm speaking in behalf of the Filipinos. Nagsasalita ako para sa lahat ng Pilipino hindi makapagsalita para sa kanila. Nagsasalita ako para sa lahat ng mga taong patuloy na nasusupi ng karapatan, na patuloy na aapektuhan ng kawalang yaan at pagiging incompetent ng gobyernong ito. Again, I'm asking you, viewer, what will you do?